good afternoon. My name is Jen Langen, and I am the youth librarian here at Collier County Public Library. And we are happy to welcome Susan Levine, and she is here to discuss two books, Jenny's First Catch and Gilbert's Migration Vacation. So good afternoon, Susan.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, so if you'd like to just introduce us and tell us a little bit about yourself to begin.
I'm from Ohio, and I got into children's book writing a little bit by accident when my daughter was in first grade. But I started coming down to Florida, spending more and more time, and I just loved all the birds down here. So to learn more about them and follow my interest, I ended up becoming a Florida Master Naturalist. And those classes really inspired me to write my first book, which is Jenny's First Catch, which is about the different wading birds that we see here in Florida. The star of the show in the book is a roseate spoonbill, but there's also white ibis and snowy egrets and great blue herons and other things that you see, wood storks. And then my second book and most recent book is Gilbert's Migration Vacation, and this is about the shore birds. Okay. So these are the little birds that run around on the beach. The Gilbert is actually a sanderling, but we also have all different kinds of other shore birds as well.
That's exciting. Okay, good. And now, how did you get into writing about birds? And
again, I started in Ohio. My daughter was in first grade. I was in charge of the field trip downtown, and I thought, oh, I'll run to the library. I'll get a picture book about Columbus, Ohio, and I'll use that as a jumping off point for my field trip. And of course, I went to the library. There was no book about Columbus, Ohio. So I thought, oh, I'll write one. So I was pretty naive. I didn't realize what all was involved. But I persevered, got that first book done, ended up writing a second book about Cincinnati. And both of them actually had a peregrine falcon as a main character. I didn't want to make up something. I wanted something that was true. And at the time, the Peregrine Falcon Restoration Program, after the DDT scare, a lot of peregrine falcons had been kind of transferred to tall buildings in cities in the Midwest where they could feed on the pigeons and other birds in the area. And so I already had kind of an interest in birds when I came to Florida and became enchanted by the birds that are here.
That's really exciting. I love how you add the birds with the city, and people learn a lot from these books, I know. Okay, so well, good. And any fun facts you want to tell us, and maybe a word or two about each book that would describe it?
Okay, I think for Jenny, the fun word, I guess, it's not really a fun word, but I would say physical adaptation, because it's all about the different wading birds and how they have different shape bills, different size bills, different size necks, and that dictates what they feed on. And it's that the whole habitat doesn't get fished out because they're not all fishing for the same things. So a little snowy egret that has a pointy bill but isn't that big of a bird, it's picking the little fish off the surface of the water. Wow, whereas a great blue heron or a great egret that still has that long bill but a longer neck, a bigger bird, they're fishing a little deeper. Then you get to the tactile feeders like the wood storks and the roseate spoonbills. Well, they're kind of down in the mud, and if you ever see a roseate spoonbill feed, it's got its bill open, it's going back and forth through the mud, and it's scaring up crayfish and crabs and shrimp and things like that, and eating them. So it's really just so interesting how all the different birds fish differently.
Yes, that is.
And then for Gilbert, I guess I would just say the key word would be the original snowbirds. It's not a new idea for people or birds to come south for the winter. Right. And these guys have been doing it for millions of years. They're making 4,000-mile migrations down here to Florida. And I guess really my purpose of writing these books is that children will protect what they love, what they know and love. And I'm hoping that once children learn about these amazing journeys that these birds on the beach have made, that they will not chase them and give them some space and let them rest and refuel. Because if they don't make it back to the Arctic where they breed, they won't be back in Florida the next year.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So to learn more about birds and listen to Susan's story time, it will be on Saturday, November 18th at South Regional Library from 11:30 to 12, and we hope to see you there. Thanks.